Welcome in, everybody, to episode 140 of the Plastic Posse podcast. As you all well know, this podcast is brought to you through the good graces of some amazing premium partners. We want to shout out and express our appreciation to AK Interactive and Micro World Games. Hey, Angel. Tankcraft, Tamiya USA, Bases by Bill, and also a big thank you to our Patreon partners for making all of this possible for you. We really appreciate people's investment in what we do here at the Posse and also their support as well. So thank you to each and every one of our Patreon partners. Today we are a little bit shorthanded. We are missing TJ and uh, who's that British guy? Jensen, I think. Yeah, he's not with us again today, not feeling very well, but we do have a very special guest, the owner and principal of Bradley Hobbies, the one and only Mr. Mark Bradley. He joins us. How you doing, Mark?
Good morning. I'm doing all right. I'm one cup of coffee in and just prepping. I'm sitting back while Jamie's prepping lunch, you know, for the smoked salmon for later today. So yeah.
Mm, man, smoked salmon sounds pretty good. Grant, how you doing, man? How are things out on the left coast?
Everything's going great. It's been a little bit warm, so we're getting into the summertime, so that's been good. I've been back to the modeling table after a little bit of a break, which is nice. I got the mojos back a little bit thanks to Mr. Scott Gentry, who just been sending me pictures of his builds and making me jealous. So I have to start working on my stuff. So that's been good. Been working on one or two projects for a so-called hobby show in the Netherlands in a couple months. So we've been doing that, and that's about it. Been spending too much money on models, but what's too much money? So
Well, if it keeps you from melting,
yeah, yeah, it
it's
keeps
all a
me
good
inside.
investment.
So
Yeah.
and then I've been beating down the door at Burbank House of Hobbies, so I'm sure they're happy about that. So, but it's been a good couple weeks.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear it. The inspiration goes both ways. Those pods, those welding robots that you're doing, man, those are amazing, and those have been keeping me motivated for quite a while. So,
I appreciate
anyways,
it.
Mr. Benani, how are things over there in Colorado?
They're actually fantastic. It's had a work trip this week, so it took me a little bit away from the bench, but I'm hoping to get some time this afternoon to work on the Og Panther. No, it's all been good and a little busy. I actually head to Detroit tomorrow, so I might hit Michigan Toy Soldier. I told my coworker we have no plans in the afternoon, and I want to take the rental car, so I might have a chance to hit a hobby shop up in Michigan. But no, all is well. What an exciting time to be in the hobby. We'll talk about it in a little bit, just around the releases and subject matter. I think it's man, we're so blessed, and it's going to be a great summer.
Man, I got to get you a shopping list, right? And I know you have the discount code from Uncle Night Shift there.
That's a good point. If I show up and I go, hey, can I enter the night shift code at checkout in store?
Heck yeah,
I
man.
wonder what they say.
My
So
friends, my friends. Mr. Bradley, how are things at Bradley Hobbies and on your bench?
Things are pretty good. We've been, you know, kind of Jamie this past week. Jamie and I went through and redid the basement here, so Bradley Hobbies got a little bit of a facelift and reorganization. We added a couple more shelves, made room for at least another 50, 60 kits. And that's, we've got some stuff. And then as far as the projects that I've been working on, I'm currently working on, I needed a bit of a palette cleanser after Rocky Mountain, just kind of all the stuff's going on. And I'm working on the Tamiya Nissan R34 GTR Z Tune. And I'm actually going to be painting that with pro scale paints, doing stuff like that. And got the underbody pretty much done, just got to assemble it. But yeah, so looking forward to that.
Nice. That sounds
So,
really cool. We'll kind of get more into the subject of Bradley Hobbies a little bit later on in the show with
mhm.
some stuff that we're talking about. I've been doing great. Rocky Mountain was a huge success and got a lot of mojo, and so I've been working on a 135th scale Crusader tank and really enjoying that. But what's great is I've been able to kind of carve out the time to every single night get down there and make incremental progress, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So really, more than anything, it's just kind of wanting to be down there at the bench and And that, again, that's something that we'll hit on a little bit later on in the show, as far as motivation and how your bench plays into that. So something to look forward to. Let's move over to Grant, and he can start us off for the Plastic Posse group models that kind of caught our collective eyes. Grant, what's something that has you interested?
First of all, thank you everybody for posting so much. It's been some really great stuff, a lot of Star Wars stuff, which is great. I'm going to pick Bill Moore's French tractor, the World War I version. He posted it a couple days ago, I believe. Beautiful color tones, beautiful weather. Bill Moore is just, one of those guys that just nails everything he does. He does really good work. I really like the kit. The kit is a yellow, I can't remember, tree, something like that. I can't remember the exact company name, but it's a really, really nice build. He did a fantastic job on it. I can't wait to see more of it coming up. So, that's my choice for this one.
That's a good choice. Kind of into tractors, as you know, but that one really caught my eye as well. It's a really good selection.
Yeah.
Good job on that one, Bill. Mark, as you kind of look around in the Plastic Posse, what's something that kind of catches your eye?
Actually, the one I've been following is our buddy Robbie Knopf's Mr. Model Guy. He's building that Tamiya Brumbar, and he's doing the dot camouflage. I guess I don't know the formal term for it, but it's the one with all the different dots and stuff like that. And actually, it's been looking fantastic. And it's just the way he's been going through, putting the color scheme on it and stuff. I mean, it's almost like he's channeling his inner JB with that color, but it's just looks really good. And I think he's doing some touch up, moving on to oils, stuff, as far as doing some of the pin washes and weathering and stuff. And it looks like he's added he's done some, looks like it's scratch built sandbags on the front, as well as looks like he's added some 3D printed bits, for the new cupola periscopes and stuff, as well as the jack and some other tool clamps and stuff like that. So it's actually looking really good. So pretty impressive, Robbie.
I really appreciated that build because he reached out to me because he was building a Brumbar. I didn't know what scheme he was going to paint it in.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey, I bought this Tamiya magazine because I really like the Brumbar with the dot scheme." And then I find out it's yours. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I would have sent you all those pictures for free." But no, it's looking really good.
I like how we've corrupted Robbie.
Yeah.
His use of oils on every single build just seems to increase, and looks like we're going to make an armor modeler out of that poor guy yet.
Well, that's how I knew Robbie. Like I kind of discovered him when he built a Sturm Tiger a couple years ago. That's what I know him from. So he's always been an armor modeler, just dabbling in airplanes.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, John, what kind of caught your eye?
Yeah, I got to call out Graham McNamara's SDKF 223, that classic Tamiya kit. There's something about that, the 223 and the 222. They're just such a sleek design, and the Tamiya kit, I think I have at least 2 or 3 of them. They are such a great little kit. Despite their age, they still hold up. I mean, the only thing I'd change on them is photo etch for the top grenade mesh and a turn barrel, but otherwise they still hold up. The wheels are crisp, the shape is great. So he did a fantastic job on a Africa Core one. So, and even included the figure. So overall, I love a good nostalgia build. And that's Graham's is a perfect example of that.
I think he really used the kit stowage
Mm-hmm.
and the painting of that stowage, as well as the overall painting of the vehicle, to really, really, to your point, to show what you can do with some of these vintage kits. Kind of, maybe a la Spencer Pollard, which we may talk about a little bit later on as well. But I think, like you said, he put it on a really great little base, nothing elaborate, but, really well executed, small little base. And then just, like I said, just really polish that kit, and it looks every bit as good as any modern kit's going to look.
100%.
Well, for me, I kind of picked something small, but something that I think is really well executed. David Brian Bridges has been working on a Ranger vignette for a friend of his. Just a little bit of a base and some vegetation, a little wall, and then also incorporated some Ranger badging, U.S. Ranger badging on the base. And I think it's a beautiful little tribute, and it's really well executed. Vibrant colors on the vegetation, and some nice work on the wall and, the surfaces of this little base. I just think it's really stunning, David, and I think where he's taken that is going to be really special.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job on this, and it's hands down great little thing to do for your friend, and just really really well done.
Well, again, listeners, please continue to post your work in the Plastic Posse group. We love it. We obviously talk about this in each episode. We really appreciate you sharing your work with other people. It spurs conversations, and you always end up inspiring other people, sometimes whether you know it or not, or intend to or not. It's just a great part of the community and a great part of what makes the Posse group, I think, such a fun place to be and hang out. All right, let's stay with our theme of community, and let's give an update on the Plastic Posse podcast Star Wars group build. Particulars have been set, and we've seen a lot of posts from all of you on what your entries are going to be, which is amazing. If you haven't done that already, once you decide, throw a little post up there and show everybody what you're going to be working on for this. Everybody loves Star Wars, right? So we've decided to kind of go back to our roots. This is TJ's idea, and he set this group up with very, very simple rules. You can build any subject from the Star Wars galaxy, right? Can't get any looser than that. It can be any scale, any manufacturer, any subject. And the build is going to run from June 3rd, which is 10 days ago, to October 1st. So you kind of have all summer. You can play around with it. You can do, a figure, a bust, a ship, whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. The kit can be in any scale, in any state. It can be unopened. It can be started. It can be on your shelf of doom. But the goal is just to, have fun while we celebrate Star Wars, right? When you post your updates, please use the hashtag Posse SWGB. So Posse Star Wars group build, obviously. When you post, have you guys selected what you're going to be doing? Let's start with Mark. Mark, what are you going to be doing for this group build?
Well, I was planning on doing the Bandai Slave 1, and then during the reorg and stuff, Jamie kind of redid the sci-fi section, and she noticed that I had a mostly built Fine Molds Y-Wing, and so she said basically that I should be doing that. So I'm going to basically set the Bandai Slave 1 aside and work on the Y-Wing. From Fine Molds and stuff. Fuselage is mostly done, and the cockpit and stuff. I mean, it's pretty good spot. Pretty good place to go or begin with. Excuse me. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Jamie's the best. So I hear what you're saying about the Slave 1, but you're going to be working on this now.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You know what? She's got great taste. How can you argue with a Fine Molds Y-Wing?
She picked me, so yes, she has great taste. So yeah, I will not argue with that one bit. But no, it's like I said, fuselage was done and stuff. It's really just got and it's a great kit anyways. Like, I mean, it's one that I started and I don't know why I set it aside, years ago. So the interesting thing is that this has got just the from a color scheme perspective, it's just Gold Squadron that they've got listed there with the decals and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious if there's and I'm kind of curious as far as what other color schemes may be out there. And so if there are, I mean, if people want to tag me or send me pictures of stuff, I'd be kind of interested in seeing some different color schemes for inspiration and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a great call. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Gold Leader, but that's kind of the one that all the kits always replicate, right? Is the same one. So if you want to go off menu, I know if you look at Deviant Art is a great website for a lot of Star Wars alt designs, and I think the Y-Wing's been used clear back to the Clone Wars. You had the clad ones, but there's a lot of great designs there, and from Rebels and some of those kind of things. But yeah, you should be able to find a lot of inspiration, I bet.
Yeah, looking forward to it. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I had started a one of the Star Wars Legion kits of the land speeder, just the Luke's little land speeder, and this particular version has some extra weaponry and some figures with it, and Just going to put it on the little base that comes with the gaming miniature. It's kind of a bigger round base. So I think I'm just going to get that all finished up. And I had spent the land speeder was one of the early Legion kits, so it's not quite as nice as some of the newer ones, but I had spent quite a bit of time and some putty work on it to try and boost the build up on that a little bit. So I think I'll finish that and continue on with that build. John, what about you? Got any ideas on what you want to do for this?
I do. I have ambitious goals. I guess I should check when the deadline is because that's October 1st. That might be too close, but at minimum, I'll do something from Star Wars Legion. I have a little Hoth vignette thing, or I actually have that land speeder too, which is pretty cool. Some of the figures on it look really neat. Last night, though, I'll throw it out there. I was checking out the get ready for it, Shuttle Tiderium from AMT.
Cool.
You never see them built ever.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, I was looking at it last night, and it's actually a straightforward type of build. I think the one thing that concerns me is the landing gears, because I want to do it. I don't want to do it fully extended. I kind of want to do it landed with the folded wings. There's a few things that concern me. It's the landing gears. I'd probably want to redo them just because they're very basic and the plastic looks pretty rudimentary on them. And then I was thinking about the propulsion unit in the back. Those are just kind of indentations and decals come for the, I guess you could say, exhaust. But that said, I'd probably want to hog them out and then probably 3D print something to plug into them, but I don't know where those things exist if they do. So I think it would be a pretty ambitious project. It's something that I would love to do. I think I've seen one built in the entire history of shows I've been to. And there were two at a show. I think I picked one up for you, Scott. Somebody was selling them for like $10 a piece. I'm like, I don't even care if this kit sucks. It's
amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah. So I have I don't know. I really, really want to do that. But I just, thinking about time, thinking about other projects I have that I want to get completed, there's a world where, I don't know. I have a couple Star Wars kits downstairs. I got the big fine mold slave one. I got the Bandai slave one. I feel like I buy all this stuff for cheap. I was looking at prices last night on all these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a deal. Like I think I got is it the fine mold's bigger one? I think I got that for like $50 or something.
Oh my gosh!
I remember that.
Wow.
You got that
The
at
slave
the
one?
hobby.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon. Aren't you talking about?
Oh,
the
a slave one I got. Yeah, I got fine mold's big slave one, and then you're exactly right. I have the big Millennium Falcon. I actually sold that for what I bought it for to John Everett, so he has it. It was just a price I couldn't pass up. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this because I know somebody will want it someday, and I'll just sell them for what I paid for it. But I also have an AT-AT, which I think would be cool in some sort of diorama, but I don't know. Like, man, there's the Star Wars universe. There's so many cool ideas. I loved what Matt picked out, that little, speeder bike thing.
Yeah, the Marshall.
Yes, from
his bike. Yeah, that's really cool.
It's really well. I didn't know that person that he bought it. The design, I'd never heard of them before. I looked them up and cool designs, cool little greeblies and stuff. And then, like you just mentioned, he's got a Gonk droid as well. Gonk. Oh man, we're going down the rabbit hole, but I have one of those old AMT Star Destroyers as well. I would love, I think it's out of episode 7 where it's crashed and what's her name drives by it? Is it there?
Yeah,
I always love that scene as well, where it's, again, it's crashed in the desert, the sand's all over it. I'm like, man, that would be really cool to do someday too. So I think there's just so many cool ideas out there. I don't know, I just got to buckle down and pick one. So it's, long story short, stretch goal, Shuttle Tiderium. I'll just say it's probably not going to get done. So I'll pivot and go to either a Legions thing, because those are so cool, or I'll do, I don't know, I might do an AT-AT diorama. There was a really good one I just watched online. They took the big Revell one, which is the old AMT one, and they did like a swamp scene where it was crashing in a swamp. I don't know if you've all seen that. And he did it in like a two-tone brown-green, but the way he, I don't know, the diorama just looked friggin' sweet. So bottom line, bunch of ideas. I might have to go I might just have to go like Google cool Star Wars scenes and start scrolling through them
Yeah.
and check them out. So there's a lot. I don't know. I'm droning on. I'm gonna move on.
So I have a question. With the, people are using, AI and 3D and stuff like that to do figures and stuff. Could you have AI do some constructs and stuff like that based on the Tidarium engines to where you could then print them out? Is that, I mean,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
because they're just
actually,
made up. So
yeah, I was actually going to talk to John about this. There's a product out there called Light Sheet,
Yeah.
and it looks like a piece of styrene, but you put a current across it and it glows. And so
mhm.
the Tidarium engines don't have any detail. They're just kind of a glowing, they're sort of an elliptical glowing shape. There's two of them on the back. So you
Yeah.
can carve out that recessed section like John's talking about and
Mhm.
back it with that light sheet. And then you can, if you want to light it, and if you don't, you could just paint it, and do it that way and give it some depth. But I'll tell you, John, if you really want to go crazy on the Tedarium, there is a guy. He used to be big on what was that old 3D printing marketplace where you could buy parts and they would.
Shapeways.
Yeah, Shapeways. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
he's a guy from Shapeways. He's in Europe, but his handle is 308 bits, and he still sells parts just kind of on his own now. But he has like an entire replacement cockpit for that Tedarium kit
Wow.
and a bunch of other solutions. And then you can also Google online, and you can find like the cannons on the wings of that. You can replace those with brass fairly easily. They're pretty they're kind of just basic shape. So there's a lot you can do
oh,
between 308 bits. Yeah, John's just discovered it. So
oh,
yeah,
dude, I just went to he's on Thangs, which I didn't know was a thing. But he's on Thangs.com. It's probably just
yeah,
another CG, like a CG trader thing, but he's got a cockpit. Oh, dude, this is sweet. He's got replacement wing lasers already
yeah,
catted up. They're $8.88. So yeah, add to cart. And then he's got the front lasers as well. Those are $14. Add to
yeah,
cart. And then he's got a pretty tricked out. So here's the only thing. He's got a tricked out cockpit for it, but my only thing on that is I've checked out the pictures online. You can't see in it. It's black. It's a
yeah.
really smoked canopy. So I was thinking I'd probably do a Tamiya smoke or some sort of layer on top because the Tidarium the look of it with the oh gosh, with that black canopy, it just has a striking appearance, and I'd
Yeah.
want to continue that.
Yeah, and the one thing you'd want to do on there if you're going to really go all out on is there's a detail that's missing on the top that it's just one
Hmm.
piece that drops on to the nose. You'd want to airbrush framing
Yeah.
on either of the top edges of that thing, and that'd look really good. But yeah, you can, like you said, that AMT kit can be really polished up, and really, I think the reason they don't get billed is the way that the wings were designed is you've got to put the top and bottom of the body together, and the
Hmm.
joint runs right where those wings fit in, and those wings are pretty heavy. So I
Yeah.
think you just need to engineer a way that the little pieces that hold the wings, maybe you put brass pins or something that keeps them
Yeah.
in and don't attach the wings until later, and then I think you'd be just fine. But
Yeah.
I'd love to see you go to town on that thing because it's such a great ship and one that I always kind of wish Bandai would take a stab at in 1/144 scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. I really want to build it and think about how do I transport it. But now, yeah, now that you mentioned this 308 bits guy, he's got a lot of cool stuff for the Razor Crest, the Millennium Falcon. He's got like literally everything, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool. He's got a
yeah,
good
the
setup
Yeah,
here.
he's got
yeah
a
the
cockpit. I just
Battlestar
noticed it.
Galactica.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say
Yeah.
he's got the cockpit for the Cylon Raider, the old one. So,
yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
Yeah.
that works.
yeah. Good stuff. All right, Grant. While John's down that rabbit hole, what are you going to be working on for the Star Wars group build?
I haven't made up my mind yet, really, to tell you the truth. I have a Bandai Han Solo Millennium Falcon, the early one. that looks pretty cool. But I really think I'm going to do an E-wing.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
The Sublight Drive did a version of it. He scratch built one or kit bashed one, and I'm been following him for a while, and I really think I'm going to try my hand at the E-wing. So that's probably going to be my choice. It's it's been in canon for a long time. It showed up in a couple of the other later episodes or later spinoffs and stuff like that. So I really want to try and do that. It's not too big, but then again, the land speeder's coming out I think next month or the end of this month from the brand new land speeders coming out. So
Yeah, round two and
round two,
yeah.
yeah. So
TIE
I don't
bomber
know.
too.
TIE bombers coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a few months away, but still, I mean that, and then you've got the interceptor coming out that might be hit before then too. So I don't. I'm really kind of focusing on the E-wing though right now, gathering the parts I need and stuff for that. So that'll
So
be fun.
just to push you in the pool,
Oh
there
Jesus.
are a couple of E-wing STL files. If you look around, that you will find they're about $20 and they're pretty good.
Where are they at?
Um,
On Pulse
yeah,
or just
no,
A-wing?
these aren't Colts. These are on one of the alternate.
Okay.
Uh, I'll get with you afterwards, but yeah,
Yeah, no
you can
problem.
find them. I think TJ's already purchased one of the E-wing STLs, but yeah, it's
Cool.
such a good
Yeah.
design. I agree with you. It was in what, Ahsoka,
Ahsoka, yeah.
where it was kind of the latest appearance that it made. So
Right. Yeah, and it's different. It's got that Y-wing look and it's got the real look, but it's just enough different where it's kind of new and I haven't seen one before. So I really want to try and do that one.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, listeners out there, again, when you decide what you're going to do, please post to the Plastic Posse. And as you start to work on your projects, let's inspire each other. Post some updates on the group page, and we'll just keep going. Have a summer of Star Wars on that. So that's going to be great.
Bases by Bill is your partner for creating attractive display bases for your scale aircraft, armor, or ship with a variety of products and custom solutions. When your naval aircraft project is complete, choose Japanese or U.S. carrier decks covering the 1930s to today, or come ashore with airfield-style bases that elevate the presentation of any build. Do you need something truly special? Bases by Bill also makes custom cherry hardwood bases with engraved details or full-color placards, unit emblems, and national insignia. With the show season here, Bases by Bill can create major trophies and 1, 2, 3, or gold, silver, bronze awards. We work with clubs and national organizations, crafting awards of all types and for all budgets. Visit basesbybill.com because there's always something new at Bases by Bill.
All right, let's go into a discussion point or two. We'll see where this goes. I was on the phone last night with Justin Lentz, my good friend from West Texas, and we were kind of talking about, a little bit of a mojo slump, not a huge one, but a little bit. And his area where he builds is kind of a little bit small, and he was kind of wondering, man, if there was a way I could sort of increase my space and, end up with a little bit more building space and a little, get some of the dead space at the back of the desk and really utilize that more efficiently. You think that could help me, with kind of maybe breaking some projects out of the shelf of doom? And I thought, well, yeah, absolutely. If you've got a space that, presents fewer obstacles to you being productive, then I definitely think that's something, worth looking at. And so I sent him pictures of my workbench that Josh Buck and I did, probably a couple years back now. I can't believe how time flies, and that really helped me because, you open up, you make things more efficiently, you add a shelf here, and all of a sudden, you can pull things up off the work surface and get them out of your way. And so I kind of wanted to bounce that off of you guys and see what you think. And Mark, I'm going to start with you because you talked earlier about, kind of some upgrades / enhancements to the layout at Bradley Hobbies. But do you think a modeling bench rework or a deep clean or a reorganization, do you think that can help you break out of a slump and maybe get some of those Project of Doom projects moving?
I think 100%. So a week ago, I made a comment to Jamie offhand that I needed more space because I just had my entire desk exploded with stuff and all this other things. And I made a comment about it. And next thing you know, within the hour, she was moving stuff, tearing things down, rearranging things. We added 2 shelves to the back. We've got room for, like I said, an additional 50 models. I'm like, yeah, okay. She just went through and reorganized stuff, got it lined up, but also for the work area. A few years ago we started, during COVID, we started both of our workbenches are set up with the Hobby Zone MDF, modular set and stuff like that, and we got that for organization. But also she added, we had tables over here under the window. We added a bigger table there for projects to where I can put, since I have a little ADHD going on, I have spots now for the several projects that are not over on the shelf of doom, but are more just here on the immediate ones where, okay, this one's in the dry booth and I can pull that. And, because I've got the leopard, which is a long-term project for this year. And then the RFM, the striker that I'm working with there. But we redid this and we took all the 3D printing off and put another table behind this here for us to have a dedicated 3D printing station. And so that just created much more room, better feng shui, whatever you want to say. But it just allowed us to, kind of get things cleaned up, reorganized. And now I'm just basically, jumping back at it. And I'm feeling really good about doing the car model and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's 100%. I think cleaning your space, reorganizing it, stuff like that is definitely going to be helping with the mojo. At least it does for me.
Yeah, I really feel like I agree with that. The one thing I would say about my remodels, I had worked with sort of the old setup for so long. One thing I need to do, and I haven't done yet, is I need to go steal my wife's label maker and label all the drawers of my cabinets because I moved everything around. And so all that muscle memory that I spent all those years doing, now I don't know where anything's at, right? Like, where did those drill bits go? Right? Where are those tweezers, right? I mean, that for me has been maybe the only, I guess, downside of the new move.
That was one of the things when we put the Hobby Zone stuff, this new stuff on the bench, and I had all these little cubbies and drawers and stuff for putting things. It's like, okay, where did I put that? It took about, in all honesty, it took me about 6 months to kind of figure out that, okay, if I have some of the more, readily available, the things I use most, and these that are like right in front of me, then that works, like tweezers and sanding sticks and sponges and stuff. But the things that I use rarely, I can push off to the sides, and then the other cubbies that are maybe a little harder to reach, that type of thing. It just helped with getting it. The other thing that is that with this, that I was able to put all of my Real Colors paints here, and thanks to Rick Lawler for basically being a crack pusher. I've got pretty much all of the Real Colors over here, the entire line. I think I'm like short 5 now. And then
Wow.
we're doing the 3rd gen paints over here. And then Jamie decided that she wanted to get 3rd gens and pivot to that after Rocky Mountain. So now we're adding that to her side as well. So definitely the, labeling, the organization, stuff like that, it's definitely helps because it's right there. You're not having to rummage around different things, but you can see it, grab it. I need this right now. And you don't really lose that momentum when you're at the bench.
Yeah, that makes sense. So for those of us that are, looking to become board members at AK, like how much do you need to spend? How much of the product do you need to buy before they give you a seat at the board?
I don't know, but I'm getting pretty damn close. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, I found out that, the entire color line is like what, 203, 250 different colors. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm over a third way there now. Okay. Yeah, I've got all 3 sets of markers. That's the other thing. Jamie put this little cart behind me. Okay, I'm blocking. Well, that's part of, and she's got all 3 sets of markers stacked right there, readily available. I'm like, okay.
Because at Bradley Hobbies.
Yeah, we have everything. It doesn't
That's
leave.
right. That's right. John, I want to get your
Sorry.
take on this. You had to move recently out to Denver, not so recently now and everything. And so you got to set everything up. And I know that since then you've done some reorganization and kind of moved things around. But what's your take on this topic?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I know how everybody feels. Yeah, it was 5 years ago, Scott, not too recently. Time flies when you're having fun. Gosh, I remember the November you came out to visit on like literally the day I was moving in. But
See.
no, it's y'all are bang on. I think a clean workspace, a clean area, and something that's set up to make you feel good. I know it sounds dumb, but a space that makes you feel good is going to make you creative. The space I'm in right now, I'm very blessed to have a fifth bedroom and have the ability to have truly whatever I want here. And it does get cluttered, but I tend to think that like once every other week or so, I take about an hour and just get everything put away. We're modelers. I bet a vast majority of us don't put our tools or anything away. I always also find like open box tops all over my floors, like, oh, I want to look at this model. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to put it away. So I just put it on the floor and then I come back a week later. But one of the big additions to my room, I put a whole wall of bookcases in from IKEA. So I have three big 6 foot tall bookcases, two of which are glass enclosed. The center is open. Center one, I have books and some aftermarket, and the side ones on the right is all the models that I have from folks all over the world, and I'm very blessed and show those off. And then on the other side is my models. But no, I mean it's definitely real. I think I look over at my desk and there's a lot of stuff on it. I have been wanting to think about how do I reorganize and make it a little bit more cleaner, but most of my tools, if they're stuff I use regularly, I have them at my desk. In the little closet, I have two IKEA, I think they're Alexis or whatever shelving units or drawers, long, slender ones, which are
Yeah,
nice.
Alex.
Alec,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Alex, that's it. Yeah, I have two of those stacked on top of each other. And then inside them, I have cutlery trays for like utensils and stuff. Those work really well. But I find myself, if I bring tools out, I don't go put them back right away. I actually have a couple trays I leave at my desk. I feel like I'm a dentist almost, where I put, after I'm done with the tool, I'll put it in the tray. And then either at the end of the project or when I reach critical mess at the desk, I'll take a breather and go put things in their rightful spots. So yeah, I mean, I think about that all the time, and it's no different than your stash management too. I mean, I go downstairs and my stash is in like two closets in the basement, and it's getting a little unruly right now, and I just need to take a minute to like organize them. And when you do that, you feel a lot better. So that's probably, I'm not going to do that today, by the way. But when I look around the room today, I might do a little bit of cleanup, but it's actually in a pretty decent spot to get working. So no, I'm right there with everybody else.
That's a future John problem right there.
That's right.
Grant, what about you? What do you feel, like can a rework or a deep clean or even maybe like an expansion, as we've talked a little bit about that in different regards. Can that help you break out of a slump?
Yeah, I think like everybody else, that an expansion or cleanup can definitely help you so much. I'm not as lucky as you guys. I don't have a segregated space for myself. I've kind of sharing a small space with my father-in-law at his den. So I don't have a large space for myself. So it becomes a little bit more important, I think, to be more clean, I guess, because you don't have the room to move around in. I do like the idea of the trays, JB. That's a great idea for your tools. I've been using a small little pull-out drawer kind of thing to use mine, but I'm really thinking about moving to those cutlery trays. It's a fantastic idea because you could stack those and store them and get them out of the way and everything. But yeah, when you have the space to move around, it's really nice, and it really is, and it really helps you flow, I think, a little bit better. Plus, you have eyes on everything, like Brad or Mark was saying. He's got eyes on everything. He's got his paints here, his paints there. He knows where his pens are. He knows everything else. So that makes it easier when you're visualizing as you're working on a project and where to go to get your stuff. Now, the idea about marking that you brought up, Scott, is a great idea. That's something I do. I burn out of those little label makers because I keep on putting too many labels on stuff. But that's helped me a lot, especially in a smaller area, because now I don't have everything's more contained, so I need to know where stuff's at. And it sounds stupid, but one of the best things I ever bought for my small area is I bought a very large U.S. General stackable tool set. And I use that to put all my paints in. I put my tools in it. I put everything, almost probably about 70% of all my stuff in that. And it doesn't look good in the location it's at physically, but it does hold everything. So something like that is,
Yeah.
it helps. It does help, and you can find yourself a way. But yeah, the cleaning up is important too. But like JB said, it's like every once in a while I'll do it too, because I'm like the rest of you guys. My tabletop has got stuff all over top of it. I've got models sitting on the floor. I've got books sitting on the floor because I was looking for a certain picture of something. So it does get a little crazy, but we are modelers and we're gonna make a mess. And I've got shards of sheet styrene that I need to sweep up and everything else. And so, but to keep the mojo going, you do have to clean up every once in a while. You don't want to have an 8 foot desk and working in a 4 inch by 4 inch square. So it's important. It helps you out a lot, and when you have a cleaner area, and this is just me talking, this is my opinion. I feel that when you have a cleaner area, you're better at building because you have more. You see it clearer. You're not as condensed into a small area, and you're not looking at a mess. You're kind of seeing what you want to do, and it helps me to have a clearer area just because of that. And that's probably just me, my OCD or something like that. But it really helps me. And then I see areas like Bill, up in the Pacific Northwest. Look at his areas and stuff like that. It's just beautiful. And
Oh, Bill Huffman
Bill Hoffman.
and
Sorry,
Rivendell. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, Rivendell. Oh, sorry, Bill. But yeah, I look at that and I still look at pictures of that area, and that's just amazing. And the stuff he creates out of there, and I think that a good chunk of that creativity comes from that space, just the space alone. That he's got a beautiful area, and that helps him build and stuff like that. So yeah, and to make
Yeah.
take
No.
a simple subject and make it long, but yeah, it's great.
I think that is a great part of the discussion here. I mean, Bill Huffman, I have yet to see a
No,
space that is more conducive or encouraging right to work in than Bill's
no,
shop, and he keeps it very neat and very
yeah.
organized, and I think it empowers his work. So
Oh, definitely.
I want to pick at a couple of threads here before we kind of put this to bed. And but before I do that, I want to this is something that undoubtedly everybody that's listening to this is going to have an opinion and be affected by this to one degree or another. And so if you want to post pictures of your workspaces or areas where upgrades have made a difference for you, that would be really amazing. So you might inspire somebody that maybe is struggling with their own space, but please put some shots on the Plastic Posse of what your workspace is, and if you've made an improvement, that would be really, really awesome. But I think there's a couple main points that I've been picking up here, and I think the first thing is removing obstacles to your building, right? So getting things up off of your building surface so that you don't end up with that matchbook size working area on your desktop. Right. And then I think the other part of it, the other thread I want to pick at a little bit is sort of this idea that if your space is comfortable and you want to be there, you're going to finish things that maybe would have been destined for the shelf of doom, or might just get put in a box and set on the floor behind John in his room. And so I think those 2 points are really good things that we've talked about, and I know that affect my building. So anyway, what, as far as like removing obstacles, I think for me, the main thing is being there, like being like wanting to be at the space, wanting to not be just sitting on the couch watching TV, but actually, down there and, putting something together and doing research, whatever it is, but being in your space as we're looking at Mark's space, being in the middle of that Bradley Hobbies. So is that a bigger factor, Mark, for you? Is it
It's got to
being
be
in that
welcoming.
space and getting things
I mean,
done, or
it,
are
it,
you the kind of guy, if you come down to Bradley Hobbies and it's a mess, you go, nah, screw it, I'm gonna go watch SWAT on the TV or whatever.
so the mess. I mean, I'm not nearly as bad as Nuke Man, and I'm never going to hit that
Well,
level.
come on, low
Um,
bar here.
I mean, I know. But the reality is that, even when it's messy, the thing that would prevent me from getting to the bench is that, work and stuff like that. There's some days where I don't want to touch a project because just some of the frustration level with work or whatever. And that tends to, cause me to, make a mistake, more prone to make that mistake and stuff on a build. And I'm like, no. But as far as on a good, on most days when I come down to the bench, it's like whether, it's a little messy or whatever, there's that, through, how do I put it? I can work through just about anything at the build. I mean, because I have the space that Jamie, kind of put together for me, and we've got it set up to that. It's very different than what it used to be before I met my wife. To be honest, it was just a little flat table, and I'd come down here in this little dungeon and do it, and work on it and stuff. And it's this what she's set up and what we've got today has, and then knowing you guys and stuff has increased my productivity and my desire to come down here and build and whatever. There's very few obstacles, but it's just all about setting it up to where where I can be successful and stuff. And I'm kind of rambling now. Sorry.
No,
But yeah.
it's all good, John. So is it more about being comfortable and in your space, or is it more about removing obstacles so that while you're in your space, you're actually getting things done and moved off of that shelf of doom?
I think it's both. I think they're both different obstacles, but yeah, you got to be comfortable in your space. But I think I do want to stress being comfortable in your space doesn't mean it's a dedicated room. It could be a desk, it could be a kitchen table, it could be anything. I mean, for a long time, I mean, a really long time, when I was in grad school, I had a bench in the closet, but I found myself building at a very small desk in my living room in my one-bedroom apartment in Pittsburgh. I had, let's see, I built at my desk in undergrad in my dorm room. Gosh, like I said, it can be anywhere. I mean, I've taken models on vacation and built on a deck overlooking a mountain range, and that's probably one of the most comfortable spaces I've ever been in. So again, listeners, you don't need to have an extra bedroom or a dedicated, basement. It's wherever you can build that makes you comfortable. And then within that space, I do think it's important to, yeah, remove those obstacles. And those obstacles can be simple as a real dirty bench. It could be an uncleaned airbrush, which I dealt with 2 weeks ago, where it's like, I haven't really cleaned my airbrush in a while. And then you spend a half an hour tearing it down, cleaning it up. But then you find yourself accelerating through certain stages of the build. So it all depends, but I think those are two important things. Find a place that you're comfortable working in. Like there's some days where I'll work from the kitchen table and I feel great about that. Other days I'm in my room. And then when in those spaces, just trying to be efficient and having the space ready to go when you get there and then cleaned up when you go. So
Yeah, those are some great points. We have friends that modeled in the kitchen and or the pantry for years. Jim always jokes about, putting his supplies above the fridge and the liquor cabinet. That's what it's supposed to be, but instead it's full of Airfix kits. So any listeners, please again share your spaces and your experiences and maybe what helps you be either more comfortable or more productive when you are at the bench, and maybe what a remodel or maybe just a clean and a reorganization can do to keep you happy and productive on your bench. Not that it's a contest or anything, but I think it could definitely affect not only the quantity of your work, but the quality as well. Well, we're going to try something new, kind of free for all here. But I'm gonna bump over to JB, and he's going to kind of go through some different topics of maybe things that are going on in the hobby. So, John, over to you.
yeah, thanks, Scott. I mean, this is something that just transpired right before we started recording because, as I mentioned, kind of a prelude to this, I discussed we are in an amazing time in this hobby, and some things have just transpired just over the last 2 weeks since we last recorded that have stuck out to me, and I'd just like to, have a free for all conversation on some of these things because they're so interesting. And I think one of the topics this will range from everything from historical discoveries to recent kits to people's builds. But one of the things that stuck out to me, I'm a trigger for nostalgia, or I should say, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and it's Spencer Pollard's The Legacy Part 3. I think I have Legacy Part 1 book. I never got Part 2. If I ever have an opportunity, I will. But I find again, as someone that grew up with the limited resources of like modeling books, Verlinden's way was the way essentially. If you wanted to find some inspiration, everything it was again fine scale Verlinden way, and there were very few books. Panzer Modeling Masterclass by Tony Greenland, but regardless. Spencer's latest Legacy Part 3. I'm digging it. He does a Stug 4 on the cover. It's got that classic 1990s finish, and I just really like it. And the building behind it is really well done, and he's got it with a background, and the figures are painted nicely. So I'm looking forward to this publication. Like I said, I have his first one with the Panther on it. It's just cool. I just really like it, and I love a individual publisher as well. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I agree, John. I have part 1 and part 2, and in my opinion, they're his best books. He does some great publications, like you said, self-publishes, does a really good job. He's a longtime contributor from both the print and the photography, and obviously the model building. But I love the concept of these legacy books where you're taking, again, to something we talked about earlier in the episode. On the 222, 223 build, where you're taking a vintage kit, but you're really applying a lot of modern techniques, modern quality photography and lighting, and you're
Hmm.
presenting these kits and really showing what can be done with them. And obviously Spencer is a fantastic modeler. And anyway, these books are very inspirational. Happy to have the first two, and I'll definitely be getting this one.
Yeah, and for listeners, if you want to pick something up from him, he sells direct, which is really cool. And shipping's not that bad from the UK. I've bought in him a couple times before.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's such a beautiful the stud four on the cover. It's such a beautiful build. He's got a kitten prod behind it. He's using the original figures, and it's just that dare I say love for the older style like that he brings to these books is amazing to me. It really does bring me back to the Verlinden days, or the Shep Payne days of building diorama books and the building military vehicle books. Kind of my that was my era, I guess, when I was coming up in this hobby, and you're seeing these builds and what he does with the basic kits, and just a little bit of here and there, and his overall skill is just amazing. It's such a great thing to see, and it just gives me hope that more people will start doing this, because there's some you can do some great things with these kits, and it's just really nice to see it.
Yeah, it looks
Sorry.
interesting. I mean, I'm not familiar with the series actually, and now I've got to add it to Bradley Hobbies. So thanks.
Yeah, it's cool. And so, listeners, if you'd like to learn more, go to Spencer's Kit Box, search that on Facebook, or he also has a blog that kind of reveals some of the work he's working on. So check it out. Awesome self-publishing. I don't not only have the Legacy book, but there's a few other publications he's done around the Spitfire, Mustang. Really, really nice layout. So highly recommended there. Sticking with the Stug theme, one of the things that caught my eye, and we've heard about it for about a month now, but now it's really starting to get some attention on Facebook. There was a Stug that was found at a German airport buried, which is pretty freaking sweet. And there's a lot of pictures of it now being excavated and in a field following the recovery. And what's super interesting is there's actually a picture from right after the war. There's like a fuselage of an aircraft. I forget what kind. But in the photograph, there's a Marder 3, 3 Stug 3s, and a Hetzer. And it talks about them being buried at that site. And I think Aaron Cook mentioned it. Like, we've known forever that they were there, and somebody just started digging and found one. So ideally, they keep digging and find the other 2 Stugs and the Hetzer and the Marder 3. What they've excavated is pretty incredible. I mean, it's essentially intact. Obviously, it has oxidation and rust, but I think with some, power washing and sandblasting, they could easily restore this to running condition. I mean, it looks like it's incredibly complete, and it's been buried for 70 years. So it's it hasn't been too exposed to oxygen. So I just think it's really cool. It kind of just shows there are still things out there. And the notion that there's 4 more vehicles buried is pretty wild.
Yeah, especially, something like the Martyr 3, there are just not a lot of those around. But yeah, the pictures of the Stug that they dug up were pretty remarkable. Like you said, John, it's amazing. And hopefully a museum or somebody that's equipped to do a restoration on this, gets their hands on it, and we have another example of this vehicle that we can preserve and move forward with.
Yeah, the Salcop is so cool. Yeah, I mean, it's the picture from the time period is amazing. They got again 3 Stugs, a Hetzer, and a Martyr 3, and they're all again post-war surrendered, so they're largely intact. And the thought of them just burying them is pretty crazy. And then they're finding them now, and I look forward to what comes next. So I don't know if it really suits, maybe, I'm sure we're going to see a scale model of it. I bet money on it. Within 6 months, I bet somebody does a diorama of it being excavated, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, I look forward to that too. It'll only matter of time. Maybe Dustin Diaz get on that. So
I would just love to have seen the excavator operator's face when they hit that thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the hell?
What am I looking at here? What's going on?
Why is there a barrel pointing towards me?
Yeah.
I like this picture that you shared in here, because you can still see in the picture of it that the rubber road wheels are still intact.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find even better is that the last 3 rear road wheels are floating. So
don't tell an IPMS judge.
No.
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, that's kind of impressive that they've got it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come out with. Wow.
And there's some galleries on Facebook already where they've, climbed in it, took a bunch of pictures, and it's it's just really cool. It's neat for something like that to be discovered. It kind of reminds me of the Black Sea Stug, or that T-34 that was pulled out of a bog back in the early 2000s, the Butte T-34. And I think the story behind that was like, oh yeah, there was a tank in town, and then the Germans just drove it into the lake. Well, where's the lake? Over here. Okay, well, it's still there. So, I mean, it just goes to show that, yeah, these things are still out there, and I think it's pretty cool. So listeners, check it out. It's a Stug 3 Salcop mantlet, older, or I should say later war. I'm going to abstain from going into any more details because Evan McCallan is probably screaming, no, you're wrong. So I'll just go with it's a Stug 3, and he can inform us on what exact variant, make, model, time period of production. So sticking on the theme of Rex, one of the things that stuck out to me is the new Panzer Rex book 28, and they have a soon-to-be 29 as well. But 28 focuses on British vehicles, and I believe this is the first time that Panzer Rex is going over to a purely Allied subject matter issue. In the past, they've done obviously Butte Panzers, but this really focuses on British armor, Churchills, Cromwells, from Shermans. Philip Rodna is the artist as well, and some of the screen grabs online that Panzer X is sharing it's pretty freaking cool. Right before this episode, I was talking to Doc, and he had mentioned that you can pre-order this and 29 on David Doyle Books, which I'm probably going to go do. And then you can also order them directly from Panzer Rex right now. But I've kind of fallen back in love with this series. I had it for a while, and then I kind of got away from them, and I regret that. I wish I had all of them, but there's just so much unique subject matter in it. And especially the civilian figures that come with it, or come in these photos. You can create some incredible dioramas these days, especially leveraging AI. It's a match made in heaven, and I look forward to this book. I think it's going to be fantastic.
The cover there of Panzer Rex 28,
so good,
with the Churchill AVRE, kind of on its side with the engineering mortar, kind of keeping it propped up. I mean, not many more compelling photographs for a book cover than that, man. Just incredible, and makes you want it right now. I want this book.
Yeah, it's got the snorkel on the side too. So that must be like June in D-Day somewhere, I'm thinking. But it's just, that's an amazing picture. It's just an amazing picture. So
yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then keeping on the theme of World War II, oh man, Andy's been going crazy sharing videos and pictures from the M3 M3A1 production line in China. I think it's awesome. That's a series that was released, oh gosh, when did he put it on pre-order? 6 months ago at least, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think there's been some delays there. But for $60, you can get both the M3 and the A1. And I haven't done it yet, but I'll probably pull the trigger. I don't have any of the Dragon options, and for a 2-for-1 is really nice. I was looking at some of the renders earlier. You get some stowage, you get photo etch, and overall it looks to be a really, really nice kit. I don't know if you ordered one, Scott.
I don't have the 35th scale, but I will say of all the Andy's 1/16 scale kits, the M3, M3A1 half track that he did, in my opinion, is the best one. It's a really nice kit. It
Hmm.
is just begging to be super detailed. Jeff V recently from Steel Pot Studios completed a build that is just stunning. If you haven't seen that, go check that out on social media. But I think in 35th scale, he's going to sell like 11 billion of these kits. I really think so.
It's
Well,
a vehicle that was everywhere, literally since
yeah.
1940 to, I mean, the Israelis still have them,
Hmm.
you know, and they're still in service in South America. They're still in service in Africa. You could do so much with these. I mean, they were lend-leased out to everybody. So, I mean, you just can't go wrong. It's just can't. You can't.
And I like Scott, I've got the 16 scale one and it looks
Yeah.
fantastic. And one thing I would do is you mentioned Jeff V, but Jeff V came out with a 16th scale like seat cushions and stuff like that
Yeah.
for that version. And I'm hoping, hopefully you hear this, Jeff. I'm hoping that he translates that to the 35th scale version as well, because he did these beautifully sculpted seat cushions for front and back, not just the stowage and stuff on top of it, or on the front section and the rear section stuff, but yeah, he had all these additional details, but those seat cushions he did for 16th scale, man, they're knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the 35th scale version. Like you mentioned, JB, that there's some dragons and stuff. They were the only game in town. And so this is definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, Steve Munsell Value Gear calling
Mm.
Steve Munsell. I mean, just it's just begging. These vehicles are just begging for, high quality resin accessories and stowage items, and like Grant said, these things were used all over. You can get photos of every theater of the war, and they all have that sort of, we'll call it the lived in look. And
Yeah.
what a great value, man. Two
Two kids.
135th scale kits for what, $60, something like that in that neighborhood. So really a great value, and I think he's going to do really well with them.
Right. Like I said before, it's just one of those vehicles that is literally everywhere. It's like the 113. It's like literally everywhere. It's
And
Andy. So it's Andy, and you know it's going to be high quality. It's going to be fantastically built. It's going to be fun to build. And like you said, Scott, you get an M3 and an M3A1. So, I mean, you can't beat that. You just can't. For $70, 60, $70 with shipping, that's nothing.
and how many variants were there?
Oh,
I mean, it's
so
one of the
many.
most, I mean, for me, it's one of those that I think there's like a dozen different variants I can think of.
Oh yeah, there's
I mean, the
the mortar.
anti-aircraft with the
Yeah, the
450s
mortar
and
carrier, the
yeah,
mortar carriers,
and
the command versions, which had a case put on top. Then you think about what about field modifications that these guys
hmm
did to them. There's 1,000. I've seen pictures of the M3s with the bridging, the bridging equipment, the U.S. bridging equipment laid on top of it, and they're just driving that to the location. Strapped down. So you can't go wrong. You can't.
hmm
It's gonna be fantastic, and I can't wait to see what everybody does with it. It's just going to be one of those things where everybody just goes hog wild. And like you said,
hmm
Mark, I'd love to see an M16 come out
yeah,
with
yeah,
the quad 50s. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that
I mean,
that is just
that's the one version for me. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
Um,
The meat grinder would be so cool to see.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
So,
to have because the only other one I can think of an M16 was either the Dragons or I think
mhm.
didn't Italy do one like
Tamaya,
ancient
Tamaya,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
Tamaya?
Tamiya did.
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
Tamiya
yeah.
did one back in the day, the 70s and stuff like that. They did the line
Yeah.
first, I believe, or
Yeah.
Monogram, one of the two. But to see it come back alive again, it's one of those
hmm
ones you say, why didn't someone do this earlier? I mean, because literally you could build so much off these chassis and so many different models and so many opportunities to build. So it's you can go World War II, modern, whatever, and off these chassis. So it's going to be interesting to see what everybody does with it.
I, I hope they fly off the shelves because that would inspire Andy to do more variants. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Wink.
Yeah.
So, So
Yeah. Sticking with the half track theme and new releases, Scott has not pulled the trigger. I think he is at SMC if they're available, but that new Grief radio set from Mr. Parker at AFV Modeler, I think it's got Scott all hot and bothered. That's why he's sitting down.
Yeah, it's a beautiful upgrade. David does really, really good work. Shipping is a little bit eye-watering out here to Utah, but yeah, at SMC, I'm definitely going to have to bring some walking around AFE resin money in the pockets because it's fantastic.
let me know if you're doing a group order.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's
Because he's got
beautiful.
a bunch of nice bits for that Panther, that 16
Yeah.
scale Panther I want. So,
Oh man. Do you have a 16 scale Panther? Because I have a steel
or I
wheel I
mean,
really want
16
to.
scale Leopard. Pardon me, the
Oh,
Leopard 2. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
when that goes on sale on Black Friday, we'll probably buy one because
Yeah.
that kit's pretty awesome. But sticking with the theme of 3D, one of the things I got in the mail was Dukes' T28 special. Oh man,
Mm.
it's really nice. I'll be honest, I shared it with Josh Orr, so I sent him a set of tracks and light guards, muzzle brakes, and suspension units. But I don't know if any of you gents have bought tracks from Dukes. We talked to him. We talked to him at the show at Winter Blitz, and then we've talked about him before. But I'm just kind of really impressed with what I received. It's there's a lot there. You know, he
Mhm.
takes branding, packaging, product quality all very seriously, and I'm impressed. And you know, it's a vehicle that I absolutely hate, but when you see a quality product, it kind of pulls you in, and Dukes' work is no exception. This is a really good pack. I mean, I was looking at it in close detail. I kept the Lincoln length tracks for the T28 because it's a live track. It's pretty tight anyway, and the work is really well done. The packaging's great. The light guards are super nice, and then the suspension units are great too. So overall, it was. I'm happy I did it. You know, for our listeners, it was around $260 shipped to my front door, split in half, $130. But now I have all the accessories I need for the vehicle, and it's a no-brainer. So, just a shout out to Dukes. I think his work's been fantastic. I just wanted to highlight that, and I look forward to what he has next, including the Chaffee tracks and a
Mhm.
few other of his projects. So, I know a few of our friends bought these, and I'm hopeful that we see T28s at future shows.
Yeah, for sure. I think this set that you bought has like 17,000 track links in it, but it's enough to do two T28s. But yeah, JB, I mean, Matt is so thoughtful about packaging, protection. He FDM prints a little on your track sets. The pieces are separate inside of the box. Everything is really thoughtfully done, and his 3D modeling and printing, the resin quality, everything's top notch. I picked up some 16th scale Stewart tracks and also the Willys Jeep wheels for the 16th scale Tacom kit. And just really, really beautiful and significant upgrades to the out of the box parts in those kits. So, yeah, it's really a great product. And that super set you got, you know, with the tracks and the muzzle brakes and all the things you described, that's an awful lot of. I mean, if you just think about the design work that went into that package, let alone all the printing, it's pretty comprehensive, and it's a significant upgrade for those kits.
Yeah, I agree. His work is phenomenal. He did the I think he did the Chevrolet and GMC rear hatches for the AK interactive truck.
The tailgates, yeah,
Yeah, the tailgates. And
yeah.
what I've seen those, and they are such good quality. They look really, really good. I don't have any of his tracks. I have some of his wheels in 135th scale, but you know his tracks look amazing too. You know, like JB said, the Chaffies for the new Tamiya kit are coming out pretty soon, and you know that's going to be. Oh, I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tackle a T28 with, you know, 4 sets of tracks on the whole vehicle. That's good. That's just wow.
I feel bad for
But
Josh because he
well,
gave Josh the individual link version. I
He
mean,
wanted
uh,
them.
you
That's
know,
what he
oh my
wanted.
that's
God.
he is
He's
glutton for punishment.
he
I
said
mean,
he had the Lincoln length and he wanted the Indies, and I'm like, Yeah, no problem, man.
Okay.
All yours. So,
Yeah.
Gobbles.
Yeah.
gobbles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really nice, listeners. If you're interested, highly recommend Dukes's work. We had a chance to put them together at Winter Blitz, and his tracks are very well designed, clean and crisp, and overall a really good customer experience too. So I just wanted to give him a shout out and highlight something there. Two more mini topics I'll throw out there. We'll go with one that hits really close to home to start. It's pretty cool. So A&A Models out of Ukraine is making XP1, which is kind of cool. Obviously, it hits close to home because I work at Boom. They've done a really nice job. I've reached out to them once, and no, I did not have a hand in this kit. I wish I did, because this is one of those moments where you always look online and you think of hyperscale and those folks that drew red lines on schematics of kits, and you're like, why would they do that? Now I understand why, because like, I'm so familiar with this aircraft. I got a chance to look at those sprues yesterday, and I'm like, ooh, man, you really missed a lot. And listeners, you're probably like, oh my gosh, he's rivet counting. Yeah, I am, because I've spent a lot of my professional career next to this thing. But overall, I still love it. I still love that subject is molded. And is it 100% accurate? No, but it's XP1 and injection molded, and I'm super happy to see it. I've shared.
It's a beautiful airframe,
Yeah.
and the fact that you can get a kit of it is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing that that it's out. Yeah, there's a little bit of shape issues with the canopies, access panels, delivery on the tail, but you know what? All of that it doesn't matter. It's still in scale and allows people to have XB1 at their home. So I think that's really cool. I'm hoping to get a copy. I've been talking to them, and I relayed some feedback. I don't know if they'll fix it. I'm guessing they can't because the molds are already cut, which is fine. So it's out there. I look forward to people building it, and I can't wait for people to post their models. So I'm just really happy to see it in scale. So
It's a unique subject. I mean, and it's something that been talked about. Like it really needs to come out in a kit form, and yeah.
all right, last one little thing I want to bring up. Got hit with nostalgia last weekend. Went to Colpar's Hobbytown swap meet, and some gentleman there had the classic 1990s DML figure sets, and he had all the civilian sets, and I bought two. I bought LA SWAT and then British SAS, and this is that 1990s like cream tan colored dragon plastic. But these are just so, you watch them and you like go back to like the movie Die Hard or The Rock or Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen. Like there's just so much nostalgia with them. And I also bought them for Ian Bonner because he loves a good balaclava to wear. I feel like this set speaks to him, but I just wanted to highlight, like, again, some of these things you go to a swap meet or a show, and it like triggers these memories and emotions. And I'm like, for $5 a piece, I'm going to buy them. Hell, I should have bought 10 sets, but I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but these are pretty cool sets. I kind of want to crack one open and build one. But yeah,
Do it.
Do it.
So,
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
This is like the visual
Yeah,
equivalent.
100%.
Looking at the box art on these is the visual equivalent of opening a bag of Verlinden resin and getting hit with
That
that
smell.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That smell will take you back so fast. It's amazing. But yeah, these kits are great. I mean, these bring back a lot of cool memories, and the SAS ones are just phenomenal, and it's such a cool thing to see these out and still running around in public. So it's
I
really
still
neat.
love I mean, I don't know about you, but the Desert Storm one with the guy on the motorbike.
Oh,
Yep.
100%. We
Yeah.
had that
I mean,
one
that was
there.
one of the
Yeah.
first ones I ever
Yeah.
built, and I
Mhm.
think I still have the motorbike somewhere,
Yeah.
in a box somewhere.
KDX. Yeah.
Yeah, they had one from Panama too with the Seventh Light guys on it, the same bike and everything like that. So they had the Kevlars with all the bushy stuff all over the top of their helmets and everything like that. So it's such a cool thing. I also like that Desert Storm set because they have the guy with the Stinger
Yeah, yeah,
shoulder.
yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
don't see that very often. Verlinden, I think
No.
did it. Verlinden did a big figure of it, but yeah, that's a cool set too. So
Yeah.
Gosh, he had them all. I mean, the one thing he was missing was the tankers, but
um,
he had like 20 or 30 sets. And I'm just looking at these. I'm like, man, you just came out of like 1993 and I love it. All I can think of is playing like Rainbow Six on PlayStation 1. Man, it was cool. I'll try to buy a few more if I see them at the next swap meet. They were, like I said, they were a good deal. They were $5 a set, and he had like the German what are their special mission unit. He had the
oh
Polish guys, he had some Israelis, like he had all the weird things. I'm like, man, these sets go for like 30, $40 now on
yeah,
eBay. You can't even find them if you do.
yeah,
So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. I
yeah.
thought that was really cool. And one other thing I picked up at that show was that pig tank from Tasca for
Mm.
30
The
bucks. Like,
Aku Yaku.
oh my God.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, holy cow, this is awesome. I've been looking for one of these, and I think at Commies Fest, somebody had one for 100, and it
Yep.
didn't have the pig set in it. And
Mhm.
this one had the pig set and the vehicle, obviously, and it was $100. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. Or sorry, it was $30. It wasn't 100, so I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
it's
buying
you
this.
stole it. You stole it. You should
Yeah,
actually go to their house and give them
give them
$20 more
more dollars.
just out of principle. So for those out there who don't know, the Tosca Aku Yaku is
Yeah.
a model kit that's based off of what is essentially a doodle by Miyazaki-san in the middle of a magazine. And he started doodling this little tank, and Aku Yaku, I think, translates sort of roughly to bad guy or bad guy number one. And the tank itself looks sort of like a hybrid between a World War One and World War Two multi-turreted tank, but it's crewed by a bunch of little cartoon pigs. And it's a charming, wonderful little kit, and it's a pretty good model kit as well. But it's a subject that is getting nearly impossible to find here in the U.S.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a great weekend. I was very happy to find this stuff, and then I also bought a Cromwell with individual tracks for $15 from
What?
Tamiya. Oh yeah, yeah.
John Benani brought a Cromwell.
Well, I was standing there, and Brian Krieger was with me, and they're like, and the guy's like, about $20 for both. I'm like, I don't have $20. I only have like $15 left. He's like, well, I'll take your 15. I'm like, fine, take my
Wow.
$15. So, Tamiya Cromwell, Hobby Boss individual link tracks, $15. I'm just like,
Stole it
stole it. Yeah,
free.
exactly, exactly. Call the police. A crime was committed. So.
Man, incredible. What'd you get, Mark? Did you go to that event?
I did.
He
Didn't
bought a
really
lot. I
pick.
showed up and he had a full bag.
He brought the truck.
uh, well, we surprisingly we didn't get a whole lot down at the swap meet. We did get some. Well, let me phrase that. I got like 3 or 4 different cars. Because I've been on a car kick lately. I've been, it's kind of becoming a guilty pleasure since you gave me that 240Z from Tamiya last year.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, yeah, making me like, yeah, I can do the Tamiya kits and stuff. So I've been picking those up. I did grab some of those, and then Jamie, we grabbed a bunch of other stuff because, Jamie wanted to get some AK paints and things like that. So that's mostly what we grabbed, and stuff. And then she wanted some other figures and stuff and to work with and stuff. So it was pretty good. We had a productive day, and then after we hit Colpar, we went to Westminster, Hobbytown, and spent more on paints. So yeah, and Legos and
Stimulating
kits.
the local economy. Good for you, man.
Oh, yeah, I think we added to the, like, I don't know, another 3% to the GDP. So,
And I know Grant picked himself up a Tamiya Char B1.
Yeah, I felt sorry for somebody. So no, thanks. I want to thank Scott for that. I've been looking for a Char B1 for a little while. They are getting harder to find. They are getting more expensive. That's for darn sure. And so Scott graciously hooked me up with one. I should be getting it the next day or so, I'm hoping. And it's been one of my favorite tanks. I think that's just one big. It reminds me of a World War I tank with the big tracks all over the sides of it, and it's just one of those cool French tanks.
Yeah.
And that you can paint any color really that you want. And I've got that new AK book that you brought up, Scott, before a couple episodes back with the French colors. So that's
a great book.
Yeah, it is. That's a wonderful book. So, it's just I do want to bring up one thing that JB from what JB was talking about of new releases. This is not a model. Well, it's not. It's models word, but the new Apocalypse set came out from Warhammer. Came out this week or last week, which at least at my local Games Workshop, people waited 8 hours in line to get their copy.
Oh, wow.
So it seems to have been a really big, and it's back to Armageddon. I know some of you guys don't know what that is, but it's back to Armageddon. Where we've got all new sets of orcs, of course, new Space Marines, but that is something that hit hard, big in the Warhammer world this last couple of weeks also. So that's another box set that is going to sell out, if not sell out already. So that was really good.
They've got a new redesigned land speeder finally after close to 30 years of the old design. So it's like, I'm excited.
The new Inquisitor also came out too with, he's back. I don't know how he survived, but he's back again. So, but it's interesting to see that the hobby in many different areas seems to be just going crazy, which is great news for all of us.
Yeah. Nice. Well, listeners, if anything stuck out to you, feel free to share, but those are some of the things that I just wanted to bring up because I thought, damn, these are cool. So Scott, take us home.
Yeah, that was a fun segment. Hopefully, you guys like that. And I think we just kind of touched on a lot of, all pretty interesting subjects kind of across the hobby for sure. I feel like we haven't really done anything with as far as spending Mark's money, though. We usually do a little better job than that. I think last episode cost him a new 3D printer. So, listeners, if you have any suggestions on how we can help Mark spend his money, we're always open for that.
Yeah, he's got an expense report to you on that one too, because it's TJ's fault. So,
and as he said, he's got 2 empty shelves now too. So there needs to be
room for 60 or 70 kits.
50, it's 50, 60. Probably could wedge another 70 kits in there. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank everybody for, coming along on another episode of the Posse. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversations and the discussions this time out for episode 140, which is amazing. And hopefully everybody's having a good summer and they're getting a lot of work done. If not, maybe some of the discussions we've had on your workspaces might help and maybe get some guys doing some cleaning and organizing and, helping the mojo out that way. But we've had a lot of fun talking about it and appreciate you kind of listening in. We will see everyone in a couple of weeks for episode 141. Want to shout out again our fantastic partners and our Patreon supporters. I know we bang away on that, but it's just really terrific to have good people that are a part of what we do. And whether that's, an individual Patreon who's supporting us with a $1 a month donation, or the partners that we have that allow us to talk about new products and new content, or support us, whether it's the Rocky Mountain Expo show or the Posse or the events that we do at some of these shows. We just really appreciate everybody. Well, having said that, hope everybody has a productive couple of weeks, and look forward to seeing those posts on what your workbench areas look like, and also your Star Wars group build entries and any other things that you want to post on the Posse group. So we'll see you next time for episode 141.
One of the ways that you can help to support the Plastic Posse is become a Plastic Posse Outrider. If you want to become a Plastic Posse Outrider, it's easy. You can even do it wearing your favorite lounge trousers. Just go to Patreon page, patreon.com/Plastic Posse, and set up a recurring donation there. These contributions help offset the costs of bringing you the posse. There are 3 different tiers of supporting with just $1 a month to start. There are some great benefits to be an outrider, like early access to podcasts, premium access to content, and the chance to appear on the podcast. Also, some exclusive PPP content and social events at model shows.
If anyone sees Jensen, please tell him that we're still here and we miss it. Let's recognize our amazing deputy marshals. These loyal contributors support what we do, and we appreciate each one of you. Greg Friddle, Ben Hardaway, Kevin Johnson, Chaz Teets, Matt Parvis, Jacob Ford, Robert Klein, Todd Reich, Brett Avance, Brett Johnson, Angel Garcia, Carl Doran, Pat Brown, Ryan Smith, Alamo Squadron, Model Fiesta, Curtis Towers, Winston Gould, the Quiet Corner Modeler, hey Boyd, Daryl Miller, Rob Booth, David Clark, Robbie Knopf, Wesley Becker, Eric DeGleesh, David Wassel, Matt Tubman, Zach Pease, Brett Marquette, Greg Williams, Nick Wolf, Sean Earl, Black Hat Scale Models, Red Beach One Studios, James Mirando, Mike Norris, Stephen Rodwell, Rick Cooper, Eric Curvina, John Hell, Eric Kane, Logan Hansen, Tim Gidcombe, Dan Newman, Robert Blocker, Tyler Moore, Derek Post, Craig Flynn, Ken Childress, Drew Gardner, Scott Hall, Frank Perrone, Jeremy Diamond, Terry Wilkinson, Chris Lovewell, hey Chris, Andrew Callis, Ethan Eidenmill, Steve Baker, Jay Kidd, Brandon Gentry, Lee Fogel, Mark Ewing, Toadman, Model Doc, Greg James, Les Workala, John Everett, Uncle Buck, Mark Bradley, Eric Brubaker, Jeremy Moore, DB Scale Model Studio, Jeremy Elliott, Mike Talley, Previous Seat, Mediocre Middle-Aged Modeler, JC Osborne, and Mark Bradley. I'm going to say your name twice because you're in the room.
Well, let's not forget our posse foreman. This crew is made up of posse outriders who give the deputy marshals a hand, and also love to thank them for support. Toby Models, Andy, the voice of Bob, Graham, Keith, Dwayne, AK Armor, Bill, Casey, Theresa, Russell, Stefan, Mikkel, LeVar, Gil, Mike, Michael, Scott, Emery, The Krieger, Ozzy Modeler, Jeff, Eddie, Ross, Warhoff Models, G. Baker, Tom Stuff, Crazy Loca, Len, Cliff, Damien, Cody, Nukeman Mike, Paul, iBones Models, Mr. Grizz, Jackson, Joel, Chris, Jamie, Papa Steve Munsell, JV, Eric, Matthew, and David. And of course, our $1 and free posse outriders. Thanks, guys.